Welcome to the final lesson, Graduation Day. Modern apps run on Node, Python, and Go, not Apache. So why are we still here? Because Apache is the edge. HTTPS termination, header rewriting, load balancing, the front door your backend never has to be. Today, we cover 4 pieces. Proxy pass, the X-forwarded headers, load balancing with mod proxy balancer, and a capstone VOST that pulls every prior lesson together. Here's the map. Piece 1, proxy pass and proxy pass reverse. 2 lines, mod proxy enabled, and you have a working reverse proxy. Piece 2, the X-forwarded headers, because without them, your backend thinks every request came from 127.00.1 over plain HTTP. Piece 3, mod proxy balancer, which turns Apache into a real HA load balancer across multiple backend instances. And Piece 4, the capstone VOST, every lesson from L00 through L11 in one file. Before we touch a config file, picture the architecture. 3 layers. The browser speaks HTTPS on 404.3, that's the public. Apache sits at the edge, terminating TLS, writing logs, forwarding the request inward. And your backend, Node, Python, Go, doesn't matter. Listens on plain HTTP on 3000, never seeing the internet, never touching a certificate. That separation is the whole game. Apache handles the dirty work, so your app can stay simple. So here's the whole pattern in one screen. Step 1. Enable proxy, HTTP, and headers with A2N mod. Step 2. Inside your 404.3 VOST, after the TLS block, add 3 lines. Proxy preserve host on, so the backend sees the real host. Proxy pass to forward traffic to localhost.3000, and proxy pass reverse to rewrite any location headers coming back. Step 3. Confitist reload curl. That's the entire reverse proxy. 2 real lines of proxy config, and your Node app is live behind Apache HTTPS. But the proxy alone lies to your backend. Without X-forwarded headers, Node sees rec.ip as 127.00.1. That's Apache, not the client, and rec.protocol as plain HTTP, because the Apache to Node hop isn't encrypted. Geolocation, rate limiting, security logic, all broken. Modi proxy HTTP auto sets. 4 in host, but X-forwarded proto you set manually with request header. Then on the back end, trust 1 hop. Express gets trust proxy 1, Django gets secure proxy SSL header. Both sides agree and the truth flows through. With truth flowing correctly, you can scale horizontally. Run 3 node instances on ports 3000, 3001, 3002. Define them as balancer members inside a single virtual cluster, then proxy pass to balancer, app cluster instead of a single host. Apache round robins by default, but you can switch to by traffic for size-aware distribution or by busyness to favor the least active backend. 1 crashes, the other 2 absorb the load. That's production HA in roughly 5 lines. This is the graduation moment. 1 VOST, top to bottom, and every lesson you've taken is sitting in it. Server name from lesson 4, the full SSL stack and HSTS header from 11, per VOST logging from 10, then today's work, X-forwarded proto, proxy preserve host, and proxy pass into the balancer cluster. Read it once and name the lesson behind every line. If you can do that, you have Apache fluency. Now zoom out. Why does this pattern survive every framework cycle? 3 reasons. Your backend shouldn't speak HTTPS. That's a separate concern with its own failure modes, and even Express's own docs tell you to put a reverse proxy in front. Edge logging captures every request, including the ones your app never sees. That's your source of truth for audits and forensics. And TLS is genuinely hard. Ciphers, OCSP, HSTS, renewal, SNI. Apache plus OpenSSL has 30 years of hardening. Reinventing that in Node is not engineering, it's ego. So here's your cheat sheet. Print it, pin it, tattoo it. 7 directives. That's the entire reverse proxy surface area. 2. Do the forward. Proxy pass sends traffic. Proxy pass reverse rewrites location headers on the way back. 3. Give you high availability. The proxy balancer container, balancer member for each instance, proxy set for the algorithm. And 2. Carry header truth. Proxy preserve. Host keeps the original host. Request header tells the backend it's actually HTTPS. Memorize these 7 names and you own this pattern. Now you earn it. 3 drills, 60 minutes, real production pattern. Drill 1. Stand up a tiny Node app on port 3000, put Apache in front of it with proxy pass, and watch your JSON come back over HTTPS. Drill 2. Forward the truth. X forwarded 4, host, and proto, so your backend stops thinking every request came from localhost on plain HTTP. Drill 3. Spin up 3 node instances and load balance across them with mod proxy balancer. Kill 1, the other 2 keep serving. Finish these and you've shipped your portfolio piece. Before you ship, learn the 5 bugs that bite everyone exactly once. Proxy pass, without proxy pass reverse, leaks your backend URL on every redirect. Forget X forwarded proto and your Node app loops, refusing secure cookies because it thinks it's on HTTP. Leave proxy preserve host off, and your multi-tenant routing breaks the moment you add a second domain. Point a balancer member at the wrong port, and you'll chase phantom 503s, and proxy timeout defaults to 60 seconds. Fine for JSON, fatal for uploads. Each fix is 1 line. Recognize the symptom, ship the fix. That's it. 13 lessons, every directive named, every pattern earned. From the very first http.conf in lesson 0 to a hardened, load-balanced HTTPS reverse proxy fronting your Node, Python, or Go backend. You can ship this today, in under an hour. The next Sorosat picks up where this one ends, Apache and Nginx side by side, when to migrate and when absolutely not to. Until then, go run it in production. Apache, mastered.